Hi guys, so in this video we're actually going to set up Firebase on our Flutter project, and I've already gone ahead to set up a Flutter project, and I'm taking the assumption that most of you taking this course already know how to set up or create a Flutter project. So the very next thing I'm going to go on to is to add in Firebase to our Flutter project. And if you're creating a new Firebase project, you have to use the add project, but these are already existing projects that I'm working on, so we're going to add a project. And I named my project Tots because it's going to be for tutorial purposes. So the very next thing is to continue, and I'll select the default account for Firebase and go on, and it's going to actually create this project. So this is my Flutter project here currently, and we're just going to wait a few seconds for it to complete this process, and we'll go on to the next thing. So now we're done creating this particular project. So we find out that we have something called iOS, Android, Web, Unity, but I'm going to work on Android because I'm currently not on a MacOS, if you notice, and it's not possible to set up iOS without the MacOS. So I'm just going to set up for Android because I can do that one efficiently here on this particular PC. So I'll just click on Android, and it says we should register our app. So you can notice the header here says add Firebase to the Android app. So register app, Android package name. So to get this particular Android package name, we'll come to our Android under this Android folder here, this iOS, this Linux, this web. We'll come under Android, and we are going to go to the build Android under the app directory, the build.gradle. And if you scroll down to where you have default config, you'll see something called under the default config. So you notice that it is under the default config. We have something called application ID. So we copy this and we add it here. Then the very next thing is the app nickname, and I'm still going to call it Tots. And the very next thing we have to add is the debug sign-in certificate, and this sign-in certificate is only necessary if you want to use Firebase for authentication. If you just want to use Firebase Firestore, you don't need it. But if you want to use Firebase for authentication in any way, you must add it to your Android app. And part of this tutorial, we are going to have to use Firebase for authentication. So I'm going to go ahead to show you how to actually get it, but I'm also going to add the commands you're going to use in your terminal to the link to the description of this video. So you're going to see so I googled how to add SHA-1 to your Android application, and yeah, that's just essentially it. I found out this good answer on Stack Overflow. And for Linux, actually the command is actually below here. So this command down here is the one for Linux, but for security reasons you should not actually share whatever the SHA-1 key is, because when you actually copy this, if you copy this if you copy this and add it to your terminal, if you put it in your terminal here, you should actually if you click on enter, you should actually just create it, and you'll have two keys. One is going to be SHA-1, and the other is going to be SHA-256. So you need the SHA-1, and you're going to ignore the SHA-256 because Firebase also tells you to give them the SHA-1. And I already have my own key, because once you've generated the key, you don't need to regenerate it again. Even if you regenerate, it's still the same key that is going to be offered to you. So that's why it is of utmost importance that you don't share this key. So I'm not actually going to add the key here currently because it's a security risk if it's actually on the video. So I'm just going to go ahead and register the app, then I'm going to add it by myself later. So the very next thing we want to do is the Google services.json, and we're going to download this. Yes, so once we've downloaded this, I'm getting it down to my downloads, so I'm going to download it. Hello, excuse me. So I'm downloading it. Yeah, so once it's downloaded, what you want to do is to come to, so here we have downloads, and if you check the downloads, you should see it. Oh wow, you moved it to the wrong place, so I should just move it out to downloads again, then I'll go back. So this is it here, Google services.json. So the next thing I want to do is to open my Flutter projects. And in your Flutter in this part of the app, you notice that they said like the way it is, you have my application app, then you have Google services. But in Flutter it is different, because Flutter has other platforms like iOS, Linux, and web. So for you to be able to get something that looks like this within Flutter, you just go to the Android. Under Android you have app, and notice it is under app here. Under app you have source, and under the source you have the Google services.json. So if you check our own Android, we have app, and under this app we have source, and it's under this, like under this app actually we want to put the Google services.json file, not under the source file itself. So we are going to grab this. We'll grab this and we are going to just add it to our Flutter project. So I should open this and this at the same time. So we just grab this and we add it to the app itself, and it should be under the build.gradle in the app directory. So once you've added that, you can then click on next, and now we have to add the Android, add the Firebase SDK. So this here under the build script is already added for you, but to actually confirm it, this build.gradle is for the app itself. So if I close this, you don't see it. Then under the Android there's also another build.gradle, so I'll have to just close this, and if I open this build.gradle, you see something like this, the build script, and you notice that this Google is already available for us here, this Google here, and this JCenter. Then there's also the dependencies. So this dependency is what we actually want to add, and if you look here, there's something called dependencies. So we just copy this and we're just going to add it down here, and that will be that. Then this other Google that's down here below is already available for us, so we don't actually need to add it again. So we save this, and we are now going to see the app level build.gradle. We need to add something again. So app level build.gradle would be this one. So if I close this and I open this, so build.gradle, so we have this, the app level build.gradle. So you have something like apply plugin com.android application, that's this here, but they want us to add this particular line, apply plugin GMS Google services, and we're just going to take this and we're going to add it here. So we're adding it here, and now we have this set up, and the very next thing we want to do is to click on next, and we're now going to continue to the console. So like that, you've already added Firebase to your Flutter project, and I think the next thing we should do is to get our packages we're going to be using for this project. So if you go to pub.dev, so we will need I don't know, for some reason it's not opening on my regular browser, so I'll just use this. Yeah, it's not coming up on my regular browser. Let me just use this. So I had to check through my internet and fix some things, and yeah, I'm back. So the first package we're actually going to be needing will be Firebase core, and essentially why we need it is because of well, you're going to see it when we actually like start writing, or when we want to actually like write the code to run our Flutter project. But we just know that it is one of the most essential things you're going to be needing in your Flutter app when you want to use Firebase. So Firebase core, essentially you need it to initialize, like you need it to initialize your entire app building process. Like I'm going to show you what I mean when we start actually working on the code itself, but for now we just need to add these packages, and in the next video we're actually going to see fixing errors that are related to the entire Firebase setup. Then we're also going to, after that, then we'll then do authentication. Then we'll then look at the Firebase Firestore. So this Firebase core. The next thing we need is Firebase auth. Yeah, that's Firebase auth. And yeah. This Firebase auth. The very next thing will be the Firebase Cloud Firestore. Firebase Cloud of, I think, no, it should be Cloud Firestore actually. Yeah, Cloud Firestore, not Firebase Cloud Firestore. It's just Cloud Firestore. So if you click enter, yeah, so this is it. Flutter plugin for Cloud Firestore. So we're just going to get this package. Yeah, and once we've gotten this package, I think this should be the last one we're going to be needing. Yeah, I think this is all I'm going to be needing. So I just need to install this package first. So to install this package, we just save this file, and it's going to do the Flutter pub get process for us. And I'm going to see you guys in the next video after I finish getting this package, so that we actually like fix known errors that are actually going to occur after you've actually like finished setting up your Flutter project. Because the only way to know if your Flutter project is going to work properly is if you can run your Flutter project without errors and without initially writing any Firebase code. And what I mean is, if you check, we've not actually written anything, imported anything related to Firebase, added anything related to Firebase, but we should be able to run this app, and if it runs smoothly, then it means anything you're going to write in Firebase is actually going to run smoothly. So that's what I'm going to show you in the next video. So I'm going to see you guys in the next video.